I'm Barrett Bradley. I'm your student government treasurer. Thank you so much for coming out. I know everyone's schedules are extremely busy, so thanks for taking the time to come out and come together as one community today.
Oh, beautiful for spacious skies, for amber waves of grain, for purple mountains, majesties above the fruited plains. America, America, God shed His grace on thee, and crown thy good with brotherhood from sea to shining sea. Oh, beautiful for patient streams that cease beyond the years, thine alabaster cities gleam, undimmed by human tears. America, America, God shed His grace on thee, and crown thy good with brotherhood from sea to shining sea.
First off, I'd like to thank every single one of you for being here. Help support each other as a community. Really shows how dedicated we are to each other and to the university, that we can take some time out and show some support. A lot of times we see these sorts of attacks on the news in some faraway country like Syria. And, we care and, our hearts go out to the victims. But those images quickly fade to memory. But what was so different about these attacks were that they were closer to home. We could all think of a time where we were walking near that exact location, whether it be the Bruins parade, Patriots parade, or even going to the dentist like my sister does so very often. Because of these attacks, we understand how scary it is for the victims and for everyone around those victims, their families, their loved ones, people who witnessed it, people in that city, people you may have known. And because of that, we understand that the best way to combat these attacks is by standing together, by standing in unison, by showing support, and just for caring by caring for each other. As I was leaving campus Friday, and I'm sure everybody was so shocked, I couldn't help but notice how students were offering rides, offering shelter, calling each other up, making sure everybody was okay. And in my eyes, we exemplify strength. In my eyes, we exemplify unity. In the face of uncertainty, we came together as a community. I'm proud to be UMD. We are UMD strong. Thank you.
I come today to bring you the message from our Chancellor, Davina Grossman. Chancellor Grossman can't be here today because she's at the bedside of her mother, who is gravely ill. She talked to me a short while ago, though, and she said how proud she was of our community, students, the staff, the faculty, for all coming together and helping during this difficult time, and how seeing that was a source of strength for her and her family in her difficult time. She also gave me these specific words to say, similar to what she said in the message this morning. It would have been easy to have faltered in recent days, to have felt dragged down by the actions of one who was given the privilege of being part of the UMass Dartmouth family. But rather than taking that path, we have banded together and will continue to move forward together in the months, weeks, and years ahead. We have demonstrated to the world who we really are and will continue to do so. We stand together. Together, we are UMass Dartmouth Strong.
On behalf of the Muslim Student Association, we would like to express our condolences to the families of Crystal Campbell, Lou Lindsay, and the beautiful 8-year-old Martin Richards, the MIT officer Sean Colliger, as well as those who were wounded physically and mentally. Let us stress that these inhumane and horrific acts are not only against Islamic beliefs, but against the teachings of all other faiths as well. We are deeply saddened, disturbed, and heartbroken. Let us put our differences aside and continue to pray for all of those who have been affected by this horrible tragedy. Let us unite as one to make a more peaceful community and world. Let us also remember there are more good people in the world than bad. As we witness this on that tragic day, seeing how everyone came together to help out complete strangers. And we continue to witness this today, seeing how everyone is here together as to help, how our students and faculty have come together to help one another. We would like to thank our Chancellor for her strength she has shown in leading our university through this hardship. We would like to thank UMass Dartmouth officials who have reached out to us and continue to support us. Dr. David Millstone, Miss Cynthia Cummings, Father David, Mr. Chris Labe, Miss Julie Parker, Mr. Keith Wilder, our new advisor, Dr. Fennessy, and supportive staff and faculty. Most importantly, we would like to thank the law enforcement and commend them for their tireless efforts in apprehending the perpetrators and restoring peace in our city and communities.
Last week, a lot of us lost a degree of innocence. When the tragic moment occurred, one thing to remember is how we responded. There were people that had just finished running 26 miles, yet they jogged to the emergency rooms to give blood because we are one. There are bystanders that risk their lives trying to come to the assistance of people medically because we are one. There are first responders who came and made sure those that were injured were taken to the hospital and those that were in danger were protected because we are one. At those hospitals, the medical personnel awaited, dealing with people, giving them treatment, working long and hard hours because we are one. Now, a few hours ago, there was a profound moment of silence throughout this entire country where we paused and reflected on those that lost their lives and those that were injured. And in that silence, there was great power. But we're here today to be visible and to speak up. By gathering here today, by speaking up, we are making sure that this university does not tolerate, does not accept, and will dedicate themselves to the fight against hatred and ignorance and evil. There are evil among us all in this world. There's evil in this country, and indeed, yes, there was hatred here and evil in this university. But all of us, as one, are gathering together. This is not just a facility. This is the seat of education. And in that education, there's great hope. And this university in particular has a name for itself. A name that is steeped in public service and dedication to dedicating your lives to help others all the time. I'm proud of this school. I'm proud of its mission. And all of us are here as one to speak up loud and clear that we won't tolerate hatred, we won't tolerate evil, but we'll do more than that. We will act and become better and stronger to serve our communities in our country and to serve each other and to serve mankind, because you will take the skills that you have here and collectively we'll work together to fight that hatred and ignorance. It's a pleasure to be here.
I note the obvious differences in the human family. Some of us are serious, some thrive on comedy.
Some declare their lives are lived as true profundity, and others claim they really live the real reality.
The variety of our skin tones can confuse, amuse, delight. Brown and pink and beige and purple, tan, blue, and white.
I've sailed upon the 7 seas and stopped in every land. I've seen the wonders of the world, not yet one common man.
I know 10,000 women called Jane and Mary Jane, but I've not seen any two who really were the same.
Mirror twins are different, although their futures jibe, and lovers think quite different thoughts while laying side by side.
We love and lose in China, we weep on England's moors, and laugh and moan in Guinea, and thrive on Spanish shores.
We seek success in Finland, are born and die in Maine. In minor way we differ, in majors way the same.
I note the obvious differences between each sort and type, but we are more like my friends than we are unalike.
We are more alike, my friends, than we are unalike.
We are more alike, my friends, than we are unalike.
Thanks, guys.
Many of you know me as Madame Shen. Some of you are in my classrooms, and I bring you the greetings of the faculty today. But I also want to speak to you as a community member. We've all talked about the tragic loss in Boston, the fear, the pain, the senseless fear and pain it has inflicted. But I want to actually for a moment speak to you the students, and so I'm going to be a little bit rude in ignoring the cameras and the congressmen, because I am one of your teachers. And I want to talk to you about something that's really difficult. This week there has been much upheaval and there is much confusion. As a city, I live up near Boston, as a city, but also as a state, as a community, we are aggrieved. Something has happened that has been done against us. But we, as University of Massachusetts, Dartmouth, are also a community that is grieving. Because at the beginning of the year, when you came in at convocation, we asked you to take care of each other and to care for each other. And one of our members has done something that means that he is no longer a part of our community. And at some level, we have an empty space in our community. Our hearts are sickened at what he has done. My heart is sickened, but it's also sickened because he is one of us and he is now missing from our community. That's one of Horace's odes. It's the ode number 34 from book 1. And Seamus Heaney translated this in 2004 as part of a project. There are 12 different translations made of it, and it was done in a book as part of a UN project for peace. Many people connected to the events of September 11th, and there are obvious connections, but it is also a poem that is about, because it comes from Horace, it's a poem about the ways in which tragedy visits our lives. Anything can happen. You know how Jupiter will mostly wait for clouds to gather head before he hurls the lightning? Well, just now he galloped his thunder cart and his horses across a clear blue sky. It shook the earth and the clogged earth underneath, the river Styx, the winding streams, the Atlantic shore itself. Anything can happen. The tallest towers be overturned, those in high places daunted, those overlooked regarded. Stop, beak fortune swoops, making the air gasp, tearing the crest off one and setting it down, bleeding on the next. Ground gives, the heavens weight lifts up off Atlas like a kettle lid. Capstones shift. Nothing resettles right. Telluric ash and fire spores boil away. And as we let that immense weight of Horace and Heaney's wonderful translation settle, I want us to think about the silence that we're going to feel that we need in the next few days. A silence that comes at a difficult point because we, as we all know, are in the last 2 weeks of the semester. This is our final finish line for the end of the semester, and for some of you, as you move to graduation, a very proud moment when you move to the next step. And it's a busy time. It's a difficult time for any extra pressure to settle on your shoulders. You have quizzes, you have papers to write, you have exams to study for. And there's all this emotion and confusion that's settling with us. So what am I, as your professor, suggesting that you do, or your advisor, because I am the advisor to some of you? I suggest that actually we do what we do best here at the University of Massachusetts, Dartmouth, and that is that we study a little tonight. That you go and you study your verb conjugations and your math, and maybe you review your organic chemistry, and you might laugh and chuckle and say, why? Well, one of the things that I think of when I have moments of confusion and trouble are my times tables. My son laughs at this. That is one of the rocks that I hold on to. One of those things that when I was a little child, every night we had to go write the times tables out. Well, my students in French, I hope you're going home and studying your verb conjugations, because that knowledge is something that when everything else is confusing, there are certain things that we know to be true. And 8 times 7 is 56. That's one thing that I know to be true. I know my verb conjugations, and some days that is a strength to just come back to.
So once again, I want to thank everyone for coming out and really just showing what we as a campus do. For the first time standing back there, I wasn't nervous coming to speak to all of you, and I think all of you that have a Twitter and a Facebook, which I assume is everyone at this point, knows exactly why that is. Because even though we were divided this weekend, we were together. What a crazy week. Less than a week ago, we stood in the same exact place, maybe not the same exact place, but the same spot that you're standing today, in remembrance and support of the victims of the tragedy at the Boston Marathon. And time went on, and this campus did what they could to support those victims until Friday morning. And I remember, and I'm sure you remember, waking up to that simultaneous email, phone call, and text message. The phone freak out, as I call it, that the My Alert system is notorious for. And really not knowing what was going on, and getting that email and saying, wow, I can't believe this. But in times when uncertainty can lead us into chaos and self-preservation, we shine through with compassion and unity. As I was walking out of my apartment building, I saw not people scrambling to their cars, trampling each other. I saw people asking one another, hey, do you have a place to go? Here's my phone number if you need a ride. Some of my friends are coming back to campus. My apartment's not very big, but you can come to it if you need to. That's the kind of community that we have, and that's what we do for one another. I had professors email opening up their homes because they knew that we were displaced. Many of them were volunteering at Dartmouth High School, where a lot of us were. Staff members setting up hotel rooms for us, and even staying in some of them. buying us essentials, and taking care of us. UMass Dartmouth, it's not students, it's not staff, it's not faculty, it's all of us. Thank you. I apologize to everyone in the back. I asked them for a stool, but they didn't give me one. I honestly want to thank the Department of Public Safety at UMass Dartmouth. I don't think we can say enough for how well you all handled the situation. You ran straight into something that's absolutely unprecedented, and we thank you from the bottom of our hearts. We won't be divided. Twice we've stood here, but we will not be divided. Nothing can break us apart. We're Corsairs. And I think everyone feels that now more than ever. This is us taking back our campus. We loaned it to law enforcement officials for a little while. Now we're allowing our nice friends from the press here. But this is our campus and we're taking it back today. And I hope to see all of you all week. Good luck with finals.
Now we're gonna...
Imagine there's no heaven. It's easy if you try. No hell below us. Above us only sky. Imagine all the people living for today. Imagine there's no countries. It isn't hard to do. Nothing to kill or die for, and no religion too. Imagine all the people living life in peace. You may say I'm a dreamer, but I'm not the only one. I hope someday you'll join us, and the world will be as one. Imagine all possessions. It's easy if you can. No need for greed or hunger. A brotherhood of man. Imagine all the people sharing all the world. You may say I'm a dreamer, but I'm not the only one. I hope someday you'll join us, and the world will live as one.
I'll just leave you guys with a brief quote, and that is that we can see the past, but we cannot influence it, and we cannot see the future, but we can influence it. And I think going forward for UMass Dartmouth and us as a community, let us try to make that influence on not only UMass Dartmouth, but the world as positive as we possibly can. Thank you.